While wandering the wasteland of the Commonwealth, you may come across Big John's scrapyard. It is filled with super mutants, but if you kill them and explore, you can discover Big John's big secret. So sit back and relax, and I'll tell you all about it. Upstairs in this building, you can find a terminal containing a few entries from Big John, who owned and lived at the scrapyard with his wife and 2 kids. The first entry is dated August 2nd. In it he says, "I've sealed up all the cracks I could find in the trailer and made sure all the pipes are clamped tight. I still need to make sure the ventilation is set up correctly, but I'll save that for next week. Shelley thinks we should start telling the kids about the shelter so they know where to go if something happens. I'm not sure they need to know quite yet though." The second entry is dated September 15th and details how he's encountered some problems building his shelter. He writes, "Okay, the ventilation is set up, but I'm having issues with the generator. It keeps shutting off for no obvious reason. Whenever the generator shuts off, the ventilation fans no longer work, which apparently vacuum seals the trapdoor on the shelter shut. Let's hope that doesn't happen again." The final entry is dated October 28th, so we can assume that these entries were made at least a year before the bombs dropped, as they dropped on October 23rd. So either that or someone at Bethesda messed up the dates in this final entry. In this entry he says, "I think I figured out the generator/ventilation issues. All the supplies are stocked up and ready. The only thing left to do is wait and hope we don't need to use it. I was telling Shane and Kimmy about the shelter, but how do you explain a bomb shelter to a 5 and 7-year-old? I just need to let them know where it's at. So I tried to get them to repeat a rhyme, hoping that would help it sink in. In the tipped-over train behind Dad's shop, climb above and drop in the top. They seem to like the rhyme. So if we follow the rhyme and find the train at the back of the shop, we can discover a locked hatch but are unable to open it. But if we go outside and follow the power cables from the train, we can find a circuit breaker, we can flip the switch and activate it, and then we can go back to the hatch and go inside. Once inside, we come across a very sad and tragic scene, as we find the bomb shelter Big John built to keep his family safe. Despite his best efforts, his whole family died in the shelter, as the generator and ventilation problems that he mentioned in his terminal entries happened again, and the generator turned off, shutting off the ventilation and sealing the door to the shelter shut, which is why we couldn't open it and needed to activate the circuit breaker. This doomed the family to a slow death, suffocating in the bomb shelter, as there was no working ventilation and the door was vacuum sealed shut. The children died first, and we can find their graves in the shelter with a teddy bear on one grave and a baseball and baseball glove on the other grave. The husband and wife then lay in bed, hugging each other, awaiting the inevitable death. I can only imagine how horrible it must have been knowing they were going to die and watching their kids die, and in Big John's case even worse, as he probably blamed himself as he built the shelter and he knew of the generator problems. He had hoped he'd fixed it in the past, but obviously the problem occurred again. As it turns out, they might have been better off if they didn't make it to the shelter, as at least they'd have met their end quicker. Have you found this shelter? Let me know what you think. If you enjoy the video, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe for more videos like this. Have a great day.